Hello, dear Sagittarius. How are you? Welcome. I hope you are doing very, very well. Sagittarius, let's see what your energies are like right now so you can use them to your advantage and see a situation from a new point of view. This reading is general. Take what resonates with you. If not, disregard this message. And it applies to all those who have their sun, ascendant, moon, or Venus in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, if you need a personal consultation with me, you can write to the email shown on the screen and I will send you all the information you need. All right, let's channel a message. For the sign of Sagittarius. Let's see. This one starts here with the devil. Things begin intensely. The Two of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the Star, the Logo, the Ace of Spades, Justice, and the Four of Swords. Over here, at the bottom of your deck, we have the Two of Cups. All right, Sagittarius. I see that in general, you're going through a really deep process of reorganizing yourself, right? I see that there's also a big need to free yourself from patterns that drain your energy, right? And move toward a new stage on a personal level where there's more clarity and also where there's more balance. Okay. I feel like the energy right now is kind of calling you to make very important decisions about what is truly a priority right now, about what really deserves your time. And above all, also your commitment. As the underlying energy of the deck, we have an energy here that talks to us a bit about agreements, right? About reconciliations, meaningful relationships, alliances, important meetings as well, and also the balance between the parties. So I feel that right now, as a background energy, Sagi, it's not a time to move forward alone. Okay? Okay, I feel that right now there's a strong influence of connections, relationships, and partnerships, of collaborations. Also, relationships that act as a mirror. This might also represent an internal reconciliation, like between two parts of yourself, right? On one hand, your need for freedom, and also the need for commitment. So I feel like the whole reading is kind of meant to ask you a question right now. Which people and which projects do you truly want to align yourself with? The central focus right now is relationships, isn't it? Let's start analyzing your reading from the beginning. And you're starting out with an energy that points to situations here that are draining your energy, right? Sometimes this can represent attachments, dependencies, fears, obsessions. In some cases, this could be about a very exhausting job. It could be a mental pattern that repeats itself over and over again. A draining relationship. Or it could also be perhaps an excess of financial worries. It's like there's something here that you're pursuing out of a sense of obligation that's hard to let go of, Sagittarius. But here comes the need to find balance. You see? Like, well, I need to get organized with all the things I'm doing, right? Like, let's set priorities. Let's start managing resources and finances in a different way. There's a need for you to adapt to changes, right? And it could also be that right now you're juggling a lot of activities or responsibilities at the same time. Okay. What I feel is that you're at a point where your effort to keep everything together is clear. But here's the thing, it could be that it's making you feel tired and exhausted. Now, the way out of all this is conscious work. Because what we see here is learning. What we see here is steady, patient building, right? Improvement. So the message of this situation, Sagi, is that, look, you don't get out of chaos here by luck, right? But rather, you'll get out by developing a new way of working and building here. I mean, I feel that right now. You have the opportunity to create a much more solid foundation, but you have to do it step by step. Okay. So it seems to me that you're at a point where you have the chance to gradually free yourself from certain patterns that wear you out through discipline, consistency, and also, very importantly, organization. This feels like the perfect time to let go of what drains your energy, so you can focus on what really brings you results right now. Okay. If we go to the center of your reading, I also see a very important psychological process, because you are starting here with an energy, yes, where there is tension, where there is conflict, right? Sometimes they can be wounds to your pride. It could also have to do with disappointments. If you've gone through one recently, or an old disappointment, where there has been some kind of argument, some exchange of words with another person, some disappointments with someone, right? It's like there's still some kind of frustration lingering there, you could say, right? But what's going on? After this situation, healing appears, and this is very important because there's emotional recovery for you right now, right? And this has to do with faith and hope in this new stage that's coming for you, right? So I feel that this is the moment where you are starting again to regain that confidence in the future. It's like the light appears again after, yes, a period of wear and tear. And here something really important happens for you, because here you have the new beginning. It's the famous leap of faith, Sagi, right? Adventure and freedom. So it seems to me that what the energy is telling you right now is that there's a sequence here. Yes, it's true that there's some pain, there's healing, but there's also a rebirth. So it seems to me, Sagittarius, that you're leaving behind a very heavy stage, but you're also getting ready to start something completely new. And this is very important. The wounds are going to start to heal. Stay strong, because I feel that all the available energy is favoring you, whether it's to start a new relationship, to begin a new project, or to move, to change course. I mean, I feel like there's a really strong recovery of your confidence, and that's very important, which is showing up here. Yes, let's move on to the last part of your reading. There are many decisions here, a lot of mental clarity, Sagi, right? Because you start with an energy of truth, of clarity, right? Of revelations, and also of understanding something in a very deep way. It's like you're starting to see something very sharply, very clearly. Where there were doubts, now there will start to be understanding, and that's important. You still have a karmic energy, right? That has to do with responsibility, right? With consequences and with the search for balance. This is an energy right now that is helping you make important decisions in your life, to maybe reach an agreement with the other person, maybe speed up something related to a contract, a signature, an agreement. It could also be a legal resolution. What this energy is asking of you here is to act objectively and not from impulse, Sagittarius. But finally, here comes the pause. Because after understanding and deciding, the need to rest comes up. So what this card is suggesting to you, Sagittarius, is that you reflect, right? That you also organize your thoughts, that you recover. It's an energy of integration. So it seems to me that right now, Sagittarius, you are starting, or you are going to start getting very important answers. Answers you have been waiting for. You are going to be making very balanced decisions. Then you will enter a calmer period where you will be able to process everything you are learning right now. Okay? In general, what I feel, Sagittarius, and what I see in your current energy is that you are indeed going through a stage where you are breaking those old chains, right? They could be habits. They could also be toxic habits, emotions, or even thoughts. They could be excessive responsibilities as well, or situations that weren't really contributing to your growth in life. It is true that the universe here is opening a new door for you, right? To start from a different place. You know, there's a sense of renewal there. The answers you were waiting for are going to come. This is not a time of confusion. This is when truths come to light and everything is revealed. And I feel that the right decisions can be made with much more clarity. Okay? A big part of evolution happens through your relationships. And that's very important. That's why I feel that at this moment, many relationships are going to be strengthened. It's like they'll reveal their true nature. So, yes, Saji, the end of a draining period is coming for you, right? But the beginning of a new stage of rebuilding, what seemed very heavy, what seemed like a burden, now it's going to start falling into place. Hope is rekindled. New paths appear. And I feel that the decisions made at this moment will have the potential for you to create a much more solid balance for your future. Okay. Let's see, Sagittarius, what we have in the oracle. Let's get to your advice or message. Sagittarius, look, we've talked about rebirth. You got the butterfly. It says, you can reinvent yourself, open yourself to the rewards of change. You have a light to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. Dear Sagittarius, this is what we've seen for all of you. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you here next time.